Words out, Jesus is coming through. Imagine the streets just packed, dust kicking up, everyone chattering, trying to get a look.
Yeah, a real sense of anticipation.
Exactly. But right in the middle of all that, we zoom in on this one guy, Zacchaeus.
Ah, Zacchaeus. Now, he's an interesting figure from the get-go.
He really is. He's the chief tax collector.
Yeah?
And, well, back then, that wasn't exactly a popular job title, was it?
Not at all. Quite the opposite, actually. You're talking about someone working under Roman occupation, and the system, well, it was kind of ripe for corruption.
Right. Tax collection was often privatized. So guys like Zacchaeus, they could basically squeeze their own people for extra cash, profit off them.
Which made them deeply unpopular, seen as collaborators, maybe even traitors, thieves, certainly in the eyes of many.
And the sources tell us he was rich, very rich. But you always get that feeling, don't you? Does that outward success hide something else? Maybe a bit of an inner void.
That contrast is key, I think. Right away, you've got this man with wealth, with status, albeit negative status, who the story hints might be deeply unfulfilled.
It really sets up what happens next, yeah.
Definitely. It gives us a reason for his rather unusual actions. He's not just mildly interested in Jesus. There seems to be something more profound driving him.
A yearning, you could say. And this yearning pushes him to do something pretty extraordinary just to see Jesus.
He's got a problem, though, hasn't he?
He does. The sources mention he was, well, short. And the crowd. Huge. Impenetrable.
So just seeing over people's heads is out of the question.
Right. But does he give up? No. This rich, probably quite important though, despised man, he starts running.
Running ahead of the crowd.
And then he climbs a tree. A sycamore tree. Can you picture it? A grown man, a chief tax collector, scrambling up into the branches like a kid.
It's quite the image. Sort of undignified, perhaps. He's abandoning that public persona.
Totally. Just for a chance, maybe, to catch a glimpse of Jesus passing by. What do you think was going through his head? What did he hope to gain from just seeing him?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Maybe it was desperation. Like a sense that his life, his wealth, it wasn't it. That something fundamental was missing. And maybe this Jesus character, this preacher everyone was talking about, maybe he represented hope. A different way.
Yeah, that makes sense. The sheer effort climbing that tree, it speaks volumes about how badly he wanted something.
Absolutely. It wasn't casual curiosity.
And then comes the moment. Jesus reaches the spot, and he stops.
Right underneath that very tree.
Imagine the scene. The crowd's noise probably fades. A sudden hush, maybe. You can almost feel Zacchaeus up there, holding his breath.
Stuck up in the branches, suddenly the center of attention, perhaps, or maybe still hidden.
Maybe hidden, yeah. But then Jesus looks up. And the text implies it's not a look of judgment. It's something else.
Intentional.
Yes. And then Jesus calls out his name. Zacchaeus.
By name.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Make haste and come down. For today I must abide at thy house.
Wow. Not just hey you in the tree, but Zacchaeus. A personal call.
It suggests recognition, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like Jesus knew who he was, knew his situation. This wasn't just a random encounter.
Absolutely. Calling him by name is incredibly significant. In that culture, a name was tied so deeply to identity. It's Jesus seeing him, the individual, not just the labeled tax collector, sinner.
And the second part, I must abide at thy house. Stay at your house today.
That's radical. I mean, truly radical for the time. For a respected teacher like Jesus to invite himself, essentially, to the home of someone like Zacchaeus.
Someone considered unclean, a collaborator.
It flew in the face of social convention, purity laws, everything. Sharing a meal with someone like Zacchaeus, that was a massive statement.
So how does Zacchaeus react? He's probably stunned, right?
Well, the sources say he scrambled down, full of joy, immediate, unreserved joy.
You can almost see him, can't you? Hurrying down, maybe slightly embarrassed, but overwhelmingly thrilled.
But the crowd, they react differently.
Predictably, yeah. The grumbling starts almost immediately. You can hear them, he's gone to be the guest of a sinner.
They're stuck on the label, on Zacchaeus' past. They can't see past sinner.
But something's already happened inside Zacchaeus, hasn't it? This encounter, this acceptance, it's changed him.
Profoundly, and he doesn't keep it quiet. Right there, probably in front of everyone, including those grumbling.
He makes this public declaration. He stands up and says, essentially, look, half of my possessions I'm giving to the poor.
Which is huge in itself. But then he adds more.
And if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I will restore it fourfold.
4 times the amount. That goes way beyond what the law required for restitution, doesn't it?
Way beyond. It shows this isn't just trying to appease people or follow the rules. It feels like it's coming from a different place entirely.
Exactly. The narrative presents it as a response to grace, not guilt. It's the fruit of that acceptance he just received from Jesus. Not, oh no, I need to make things right so I can be accepted, but I have been accepted, and now my heart wants to make things right.
That's a really key distinction. It's transformation from the inside out.
And it's immediate, tangible. He doesn't say, I'll think about changing. He declares it right then and there. It's a powerful demonstration of a changed heart, a fundamental shift in his values. His identity is being reshaped right before their eyes.
It really silences the critics, or at least it should have. His actions spoke louder than their grumbling.
And then Jesus responds to Zacchaeus' declaration and to the crowd's murmuring, really.
He does. He says, "This day is salvation come to this house."
Salvation, not just forgiveness, but wholeness, restoration, brought to this house, this man, this family.
For as much as he also is a son of Abraham, reclaiming his identity, his place within the community of faith.
Undoing the exclusion. And then Jesus states his purpose so clearly.
For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which was lost.
That line just resonates, doesn't it? It encapsulates so much of his mission. He wasn't just there for the righteous or those who thought they were. He came specifically for the ones on the margins.
The ones considered lost, like Zacchaeus. His visit wasn't just a social call, it was a rescue mission, restoring his dignity, his purpose.
Exactly. It's a perfect illustration of that core message. Seeking out, not condemning. Offering restoration, not just judgment.
So bringing this forward, what does this story, this deep dive into Zacchaeus, mean for us, for people listening today?
Well, there's that powerful image, Zacchaeus climbing the tree to see Jesus. And you could draw a parallel, couldn't you?
How so?
Well, maybe think about what Jesus did later at the cross. In a way, that was Jesus making it possible for us to see God, bridging that gap. Zacchaeus had to climb, Jesus came down.